CZ is a free man and the bull market is back on. After a long battle with the media and the government here in the United States, CZ is finally out of jail and ready to reclaim his place among crypto legends like me. They thought they could keep Binance down, but it is still one of the most powerful forces in crypto. CZ won't have any more control over Binance, but he will still be a very important voice in the industry, maybe now even more than ever. Let's get it. I'm not a financial advisor. Welcome to the channel. I'm your host, The BitBoy. If you're happy to see CZ out of jail, or if you were happy to see him go in there, make sure to smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell for more. In the past year, one of the major narratives in crypto is that Binance was done for, or at the very least, it was a dangerous place to keep your money. In general, centralized exchanges and platforms really aren't the best place to keep your money, but Binance is probably one of the safest out of the centralized platforms. That's not how the media was spinning things though. There were also worries about the BNB chain and how all of the money there could be at risk, but none of this has played out as predicted, and Binance is more successful than ever, even as its founder CZ is being released from his short stint in jail. CZ is still a major shareholder in Binance, but he won't be able to be involved with the day-to-day operations anymore. It was made out to be the arrest of the century, but he only spent a little bit more time in jail than I did for loitering. Man, I can stand on ground with the best of them. His arrest didn't cause any troubles for Binance either. It's continued to push on and grow. The new CEO, Richard Tang, recently announced that Binance hit an all-time high trading volume of $100 trillion. BNB has been doing great too. The token is back around its all-time high from the previous cycle and is also seeing a massive increase in transaction volume. In his first statement since its release, CZ said that he was focused on writing a book, funding charities, and promised to be meeting everyone out at the crypto conferences. He also pointed out that Binance seemed to be doing just fine without him at the wheel. In fact, I just met the new CEO, Richard Tang, while I was out there in Singapore a few weeks ago. But of course, Binance being okay, I knew this all along, it wasn't going to be a major problem for CZ. I've said it many times. Spending time in jail is never fun, but a few months is a slap on the wrist, and the Binance business didn't miss a beat, and neither did CZ's fortunes. He's probably still one of the richest people in the world, at least officially, and he's not the villain that the media has portrayed him to be. They had to drag his name through the mud because he was one of the last few founders that actually believed in the value of crypto, like true privacy. In CZ's tweet a few months back, announcing his settlement with US authorities, he was very clear that he never betrayed his customers or the crypto community. He was careful to point out that the US agencies he settled with had not accused Binance of misappropriating any user funds or engaging in any market manipulation. The crypto community was overwhelmingly supportive of CZ, despite his guilty plea and the seemingly serious nature of his charges. This is the total opposite of how Sam Bankman-Fried was received when charges against him were announced. Sam's crime was stealing from his customers, while CZ's crime was protecting the privacy and freedom of his customers in ways that went against the interests of the world's most powerful governments. I took an entire chapter of my book, Catching Up to FTX, to break this down and showed how every OG crypto founder that tried to preserve the cypherpunk values ended up in court or in jail. Most of them settled without jail time or only did short sentences, like CZ. But it's enough to scare the rest of the industry into line. CZ's big crime was giving his customers what they wanted and trying to preserve crypto values, while other exchanges refused to list the altcoin gems that everyone wanted to trade. CZ gave his customers what they wanted and respected their privacy by not collecting their information. Privacy and open access to assets were core values for early crypto adopters, but these values are in direct opposition to sanction policies of the world's most powerful governments, as well as surveillance policies like the Bank Secrecy Act. By giving his customers access to the altcoins that they wanted to trade, CZ was also defying accredited investor laws that prevent people who aren't millionaires from making investments in early stage companies. These laws are incredibly unpopular across the political spectrum in the US, and they don't even exist in most other parts of the world. Most of the laws that CZ and Binance are accused of breaking are very unpopular, especially in the crypto industry. The only aspect that is controversial is the fact that providing privacy on a platform like Binance undermines sanctions, and even then, this is really only a sticking point in Europe and North America. In theory, sanctions, which usually involve cutting off entire nations from trade, are intended to force political change in countries where human rights violations are taking place. But in reality, they just lead to even more human suffering and rarely have an impact on the targeted regime. On November 7th, at the meeting of the United Nations General Assembly's Third Committee, there was a resolution to condemn the concept of sanctions, which they called unilateral coercive measure. The resolution passed with 128 votes in favor and 54 against, with the overwhelming majority of no votes coming from North America and Europe, the countries that enforce the sanctions on everyone else. Shocker! Sanctions have also isolated us and left us with fewer trade partners, so it's a policy that's backfiring anyways. If they try to put away CZ for any length of time, I think there would have been a much bigger backlash from the crypto community, and he would have been able to sustain a good fight with all the money that he has. So what do I think is going to happen now with CZ? Who knows if CZ will continue with a new crypto business? I actually see him stepping into more of an influencer role. That's what it seems like from his statement. You know he's going to be posting a lot on X, and I can even see him starting his own podcast or something like that. Meanwhile, Binance and BNB are going to continue to be the unstoppable forces in the industry. But that's all I got. Be blessed. Good boy out.